Meet Edmund McMillen, the dev who brought us hits like Super Meat Boy and Binding of Isaac. But what did his games look like before those hits? Edmund started by making comics between the ages of 15 and 18, but wasn't able to continue. Unfortunately, there just was no money in comics. In 2001 and 2002, Edmund would explode out of the gates, releasing 15 works on his website, This Is a Cry for Help. In 2003, Edmund would work with Calder Bradford to release Carious Welting, a grotesque little shooter starring a floating, bleeding head that fired projectiles from its own body. Over the next couple years, he would continue to work on projects, and each new game was a different wound opened up on screen. In 2004, he would have an opportunity to work his first major commercial release, Gish. It was a strange, squishy platformer about a 12-pound ball of living tar. After Gish, he went back to what he knew best, the strange, symbolic, and deeply personal games. From 2004 to 2008, we'd continue to see Edmund perfect his craft, releasing games like Triachnid and Coil, abstract, haunting, and deeply symbolic. There were no instructions, just instinct. Over the next couple years, Edmund would continue to release games like Twin Hobo Rocket and Aether. In 2008, Edmund released Flash Meat Boy, where he would lay the foundation for one of the greatest platformers of all time. It was raw, fast, and punishing, a throwback to the games Edmund grew up on. Meat Boy was a red, skinless cube of flesh. His mission was to save his girlfriend from a fetus in a jar wearing a top hat. Then, the game would get an upgrade. Released in 2010 on Xbox Live Arcade, Super Meat Boy hit the ground sprinting. Tight controls, instant restarts, no load times, every death felt fair, and every success released a flood of dopamine. The next game, which you probably haven't heard of, was called The Binding of Isaac, which would release in 2011. A deeply personal roguelike that ripped open themes of religion, guilt, and childhood trauma. Shortly after, The Basement Collection, released in 2012, was a curated anthology of Edmund's earliest and most personal Flash games. Remastered, preserved, and bundled like a time capsule of trauma and creativity. In 2014, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth launched, a total remake of the original Flash game. The game would go on to receive several expansions, including Wrath of the Lamb, Afterbirth, and Repentance. In 2015, Edmund would work with James Id to release Fingered, a game about locating a criminal through their physical attributes. In 2017, Edmund released The End Is Nigh, a return to platforming, but this time with death at the center. In 2019, The Legend of Bumbo released. It was a churn-based prequel to Isaac. It was weird and risky, but close fans of Isaac received the game with open arms. In 2020, Edmund would switch from video games to physical games. He'd release the card game Tapeworm. It was a tile-laying card game in which players competed to build tapeworms. So, what is McMillen doing these days? Cats. So many cats. After a decade in limbo, his long-lost fever dream Eugenics is back. A tactical RPG about mutant cats. It's weird, ambitious, and of course, it's very Edmund.